Yep.
All right. Everybody sound good? You can hear yourself, right?
Yep.
Okay, hear yourself, hear
Yeah.
myself.
Yep.
And we're live.
All right, welcome to the Big Hammock Podcast, and what a big week it's been, guys. It's been 1 week past the premiere. We are already having this podcast on Amazon Music, Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and of course YouTube, and all of this stuff can be seen on Facebook platform. What an exciting week it's been. We've got our returning guest, writer, sound editor, Jake Kinnett. We've got our executive producer, Chaz Webb, and our first-time guest cast member, Charlie Well. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
So our primary reason for this podcast, we're not going to sugarcoat it, right? We need people to buy this DVD. We need to get the word out. People to buy this DVD, Blu Ray. We got digital copies. It's on thebighammock.com, right? Thebighammock.com. That's all one word. We want to get the word out on this movie for everybody to watch it. So, 300 people at the premiere, Chaz.
Yeah.
What'd you think about that?
I mean, in the beginning, I knew we'd do it, and then like halfway through the month, I'm like, oh man. But then I was like, I knew people were just waiting until the last minute, like people do, and that's what happened. Just boom, boom.
I think
the last couple of days were like bam, bam, bam.
I think we were all in that boat too, because I remember Malcolm was very, very like, I don't know, and I think we all had to convince him to get that big theater.
Yeah.
We were the week before, and I think we were less than half of the tickets sold, and I know there was definitely times when I doubted it.
Yeah.
And then to see it all come into play, 300 people, and again, thanks to everybody that came for support.
Yeah, definitely.
We worked our butts off for that, and everybody came to show us some love.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you to the Epic Theater for hosting us.
It was epic.
Yeah, it was epic. Epic at the Epic Theater. Shuck and Shack, they hosted us at the pre-premiere.
Yeah, we had a great time there too. Everybody showed up too. Yeah, they took care of us there, man. Yeah.
I would have loved to have gone to that, but fortunately I couldn't make it.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, as many people as 300 people is, obviously there's way more than 300 people out there.
Right.
Again, at the end of the day, we're trying to get our word out there. One of the other aspects of this podcast is to get our story out, right? That first episode with Malcolm and Travis, they talked about, getting in the, how they got to where we are, their humble beginnings. Even as much as today and all throughout the week, I'm still having people ask me, how in the world did you get involved with with this movie gig? Which brings me to my next question for you, Charlie. And I'm most excited about having you on the show this evening because this is your first time. You acted in the movie. You saw it for the first time on Friday night.
Yep.
And, I expressed on the first podcast that, this wasn't just for the Bigfoot enthusiasts. That this movie was for everybody. And, please don't take this as you're an old timer kind of jab at you or whatever it may be, but I had.
Show him your shirt.
What's it say?
Oh, yeah, you ain't seen my shirt, have you?
Yeah.
That's a true story.
Because you see, I'm a dinosaur. Oh, and it's Hank Williams Jr. flipping the bird. Perfect. So, I was thinking, my daughter is 15, and she's my number one fan. She still thinks Dad's cool. She wanted to come hang out anytime she could. She got a little post-production credit at the end for just standing around and doing nothing. But, I mean, legitimately, there was the back porch scene. She kind of did the sound on that one. He had already had it set up for her, but so that's right. And she was inside the diner when they were outside watching at the Cafe Lucia there. Yes, she was involved, and she came over for one of the edits as well. and she had to report back to her mom that her dad wasn't going through a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Right. So, it was, we weren't just some 30-year-olds trying to relive our 20s acting this movie. Okay. Yeah. So, but Charlie, you're another generation, right? Like, you're Chaz's dad, otherwise known to Malcolm as Uncle Charlie.
Yep.
Right. I got so many questions, but your overall thoughts of the movie.
I thought it was awesome. I really did. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Be honest with you. It was like a fun thing to do, but as far as like the seriousness of it, the ending of it, the whole movie was really good. I thought it was. It came out good.
You have never acted before.
Just in front of women.
So, we talked, and obviously, Chaz talked about how he's been friends with director Malcolm since, in diapers.
Yeah.
Your fault. You're the blame for this.
Well, actually, me and Malcolm's dad used to work together at Mark III back in the day. And that's how we became hanging out buddies and doing all kind of dumb shit that we did back in our mid-20s. So,
and that continued on for quite some time. At least their friendship did, because you guys were famous long before, at least locally famous long before even the signal loss. But back in the Red Room days, Malcolm threw you guys a little line in the lyrics in the Jade song.
the Jade song.
The Jade song.
I forgot all about the Jade song. Yeah. I really did.
What was it?
We had it in the jukebox at the Jade.
Yeah.
And I forgot all about that.
Yeah. So, it's not the first time that people have heard from Uncle Charlie, Chaz, and Malcolm's pops. So.
That was my hangout. That was my good.
That was your
Yeah,
spot?
the Jade,
my
yeah.
spot,
And then had the Winnebago too. Yeah.
You were in the music video
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Winnebago.
Supposedly.
Well, yeah, you were. The beginning scene, like you had to watch.
Yeah.
You got to look for him.
If
You
you're
got to look for him.
If you're looking for a specific person when you're watching the video, you can catch them.
I think they cut me out of it because I had a cut off sleeve shirt on and my arm hair was like an orangutan. I remember Mike talking about it. It was like this long, so I think he cut me out of that part.
The editing.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the movie?
Seeing my dumb ass on the screen. That was a shock.
I'm glad somebody else said it.
It was like, and seeing my wife on there, seeing my kids on there, it's pretty amazing. Watching your kids, especially on the big screen. Yeah.
Here's an interesting thing about his scene, the toe scene. A lot of it was ADR.
We're going to get into that, all right? And we're going to get into that, Mr. Soundman, all right? We're coming to you, all right? So, I will say, you were proud then. You were proud of it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I wanted to say, bring that up to Chaz because, I know what it was like for me having my parents, in the movie theater, very proud of their boy, How was it for you walking out of that movie theater with your dad, knowing that that's something that you guys accomplished together?
I knew it was
like you got out of the movie, right? And you see dad, right? And dad's been in this movie. He did it with you. Now the scenes were different. You guys didn't act together or anything like that, right? But, you walk out of there and, your dad's been doing this. He did it for his son, his nephew as a favor, hauled his guys at work there. He's telling his guys at work, what'd you tell him at work?
I said, hey, this is my nephew's movie. This is his second movie. I said, at least you can do is come make fun of me. I'm in it. Just come make fun of me. Right. Come support my nephew. See the movie. Check it out. It looks pretty good.
So you come out of that movie and you're feeling good about it. You're proud of it. You come out, you see your dad proud of it. Like, what's your thought process?
I mean, so I'm just gonna be honest. My thought process coming back out of the theater was get back to work. I had to get back on the DVD table, and but I mean, just definitely the joy in everybody's faces. I could tell everybody had a good time. You know what I mean? So just everybody smiling, and then we just continued on having fun taking pictures and stuff.
Yeah, I wish I would have taken more pictures. I was so blown. I was so blown away with everything. I took like before pictures, didn't take any after, and I think that the energy was definitely high at the beginning. Shuck and Shack definitely it started there, and then progressed into the movie theater, and
And I didn't expect all the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we knew it would
Good
be
chaos. Though.
It was good chaos. It's just before the movie, like I even got into the theater late.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grabbing popcorn for me and my girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
and then like I missed the beginning of the movie, and then after, like I said, like coming out, I'm like, okay, back to the like, yeah, gotta sell DVDs and try to get pictures with people in between, and but I'm just glad everybody had a good time, and I think it was just it went well. So
what was your favorite part of the movie?
I mean, definitely when the action starts to break out, like we were just talking
The
about
action
that earlier.
shots.
Yeah, like Drew and Smash did like so good.
Yeah.
Like, and they killed it, and so like like that's like definitely one of my favorites. We were talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Jake, you're on the edge of your seat. Tell us your favorite part of the movie.
Actually, he is one of my favorite jokes in the whole movie. It's a very underrated joke. It's in the diner. He's just like, yeah, you lied.
You lied.
It's so stupid. I don't think anybody caught it.
I caught that.
I caught it watching it 1,000 times.
Yes, I
so
caught it.
I laughed every
Yep. And that I thought about that too, because he could have easily in that moment just said, "Yeah, it's right here," right? You know what I mean? Like he could have
scene. Like that's good acting.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the movie, like of the movie or the experience.
I tell you what, answer them both.
Okay. My favorite scene in the movie, spoiler free, is the twist.
Yeah.
Stop. No, stop. No. There's no twist. What was your favorite part of the movie, Jake?
When they get to the woods, scene on the side of the road.
When Hobie leaves the
Correct.
the note.
Yes, correct.
Don't tow. Please don't tow.
Please don't tow. Correct. Yeah. You're in that scene. Correct.
And that's where Charlie comes in. Charlie, Charlie, because I wanted to talk to you, and I want to set this up right. So the other night I asked Malcolm, I was like, what was your biggest save of the production, right? And I was thinking in the back of my mind what the biggest save was, and Travis was there for it, and it was the festival scene. Oh, yeah. So I want to line up what happened in that festival scene. Number one, Malcolm was very strategic in every one of his scene selections, right? With the indoor scenes, it was as simple as, does this fit the scene that we're trying to portray in the movie? And you only had to worry about lighting, but the main thing was that the sound was controlled because it was indoor. The outside scenes, again, very strategic. Your property, it's in a controlled environment. There were a couple outdoor scenes where we had to be careful about when we shot that scene because of traffic going by. The porch scene, that was my back porch, right? Like, you know, we had control of that stuff. There was the festival scene. I was at your business, and there's so much went involved into that, right? We had, you know, there was somebody barbecuing some chicken. We brought a stage in. We had live music that we had going. We had many, many vendors that went, you know, they go to these festivals and set up their tents and sell their stuff. They knew they were coming to set up their stuff, but not sell their stuff, right? They knew they were coming for the movie. And Travis was, you know, he got there and he was blown away about how well it looked, right? Because it passed as a legitimate festival, and he was like, "Man, I've been on $100,000 projects, and I've never seen a turnout like this," right? Like, he was pretty well amazed.
Yeah, we had to put together an actual festival, basically.
Right. We had people coming off the road that drove by, park their car, get out and see what was going on. That's how legitimate it looked. And we are literally getting ready to shoot. I mean, we're there. And the bar next door opens.
Oh, right.
And the bartender turns on the speakers, and they are loud, and it's honky tonk music, and this is going to screw everything up. And Malcolm had the stressed out, what am I going to do look. I mean, you know, you got all these people here. You got everything. I mean, this thing, we're like, what are we going to do? And I looked at Malcolm, and, you know, I didn't need to know this, but because he knew where I was going with, but I asked him, I said, how much money do you have in your pocket? And he didn't tell me, right? But, you know, I said, go see if you can get her to turn those speakers off.
Right.
And he,
Doing a little your mafia Italian, right? Hey, go get your wife something.
He put $100 on the bar, you know, on the bar top, and she shut them off for us, and
Right.
you know, we were able. So in my mind,
That's something nice.
that was a big save in production.
Right.
But Malcolm the other night had mentioned time. Right, time was his big save. We talked about, you know, a couple scenes that didn't necessarily play out on camera the way that they would that they did, you know, in the writing. And Jake, I want to talk about that while I mention that. I watched the podcast from the other night, and you wrote this movie to the T perfect. I felt like when I said something, I was throwing a jab at the writing. At least that's the way it could have been perceived. It wasn't perceived. I'm just a dumb hick, you know, country boy that graduated from North Marion High School that, you know, can't figure this stuff out. Yeah, I did. So, you know, I graduated. So, you know, Jake, very well written, you know. So we and I'm going to talk more about you know, the saves that from your behalf as well. But what I'm getting at, Charlie, is, you know, we had made adjustments to the edits. One of our first scenes was that diner scene. It was me, you, and Damon primarily in that scene. I believe your wife was the waitress.
Yep.
Okay, she was in that scene.
Katie.
Katie. Yep. And Charlie, you were a pro, right? Like and again, you've never done this before. And I made it clear on this podcast that I took a different approach in my acting, in that, you know, I took myself and put myself in this character and come up with the words to come out of my mouth so that they came out naturally and were believable.
Right.
But not you. You took the approach that you were going to deliver your lines and you were going to nail them, and that's exactly what you did in that diner scene. So much to the point that the three of us jived so well together that day that he caught part of that saving time. He called us up and asked us to do the post-credit scene, right? And we did that, and you know, funny scene, right? And you know, we did that, and again, same thing, right? You came in, delivered, nailed him, perfect. He loved you, right? So now it's, you know, you've done these two scenes, and he's like, you know, I got this other part in the movie that's in the script, but your character can do that. And that was the tow truck scene.
Right.
And again, great scene, funny scene. And, we're talking about the time when we were doing that edit. At first, that scene was a little cringy, and it wasn't because of you. It was because of the tow truck, right? And what happened was the bed of the truck was just coming out, level, and it was very slow, no sound. It was almost cringy. But at that point in the editing, he had cut out so much time that he was like, I can't do it. So he came up with another solution, which was
ad lib. Just come in and what would you say under your breath?
Oh, like ADR.
Yeah.
Came in and
Just kind of improvising. If I was actually doing it, what would I be saying? So I said what I would say, and
It made it hilarious.
it did. It was a perfect solution to a problem.
When Travis and I were watching it for the first time, I think that was the part we laughed the hardest at. Me and him were sitting right here just rolling.
Yep.
It was like the funniest.
that's the thing about Mackie, man. He, how do you want to do it? You want to make you want to put something in it? You want to add something to it? You want to do it like this? You want to do it like that? If you don't like it, we'll shoot it again. Say what you want to say. Yeah. And so okay.
He did that with the opening credit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
engineering that audio for the ADR was very time consuming, because you're going from an environment where you have, sound panels up and it's a very controlled environment, to trying to make that sound like it's outside,
Right.
like it's out in the woods. So there's all sorts of stuff I was playing with hours, and I think I did okay.
So Jake, I'm this whole thing is setting you up, right? Because you were the writer, you were the sound editor, and we talked about things that we've all throughout this. We've talked about things that have been written. We talked about things that have been with sound and how we made adjustments. When it comes to the sound, what would you say your biggest save was during the production?
The Squatchtoberfest scene.
Mm-hmm.
When I was given that,
Mm-hmm.
there was just audio.
Mm-hmm.
All of that was done by me.
Nice.
All of what you hear, the grilling of the meat,
Mm-hmm.
the people talking,
Mm-hmm.
the music.
Mm-hmm. You brought that scene to life.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny. As I was listening to it, I felt like you on speakers, it felt too... It didn't feel live enough. So I added almost like a speaker reverb, it made it bigger. Right. Does that make sense? It didn't sound to me. It just didn't sound. It sounded it was like nobody would listen to this guy, because it didn't sound loud enough.
Mm-hmm.
It needed gravitas.
Mm-hmm.
What?
What? It needed to be bigger.
Gravitron?
Gravity?
I remember the Gravitron.
No, it needed to be bigger. That's what she said. Right? Exactly what she said.
All right, Jake, when we talk about the writing, right?
Okay.
I have to put myself in your shoes or your chair or your desk or whatever as you're writing this down. I have to imagine that you're kind of seeing this as you're writing it, right? You're seeing this movie in your mind as you're writing it. What scene, if any, was there a scene in the movie that turned out exactly how you thought it was in your mind as you was writing it?
The after podcast scene.
The after podcast scene.
Correct.
Is that when he went to Mrs. Simmons' house?
No. Right after the podcast where they're talking about going into the Big Hammock.
Yes.
It was me, Foolish, B-Mob, and Z. And that just turned out like exactly as I was picturing in my mind, writing it down. Here's the thing about writing. As you're writing, you have to make every character that you write different. Right?
Yeah.
And it takes a long time because sometimes you'll get into writing and be like, man, I feel like this character wouldn't say it like that. This other character would have said it like that. So it starts to mix. So you gotta blend it correct, right? Does that make sense?
And you've got to get to know each character.
Yeah,
Yes.
Otherwise, everybody just starts sounding the same. And it's like,
I did this weird thing as I was writing it. I was like, I want such and such character, like B-Mob specifically. I've known him for years, and I kind of knew he was going to be that character ahead of time. So it was easy to write for him because I know his comedy style. I knew he would be perfect for that role, but it was also like I needed him to be sort of Craig Robinson, if that makes any sense. There's like a Ryan Reynolds type. There's a this type, that kind of type. Like in my head, that's how I was writing it. That's how I based kind of characters off of and their comedy because, I've never written comedy before.
Gotcha. Well, you nailed the comedy aspect. Yeah,
it was funny. People did laugh. I was like, that made, that brought all the feels.
But yeah, I do want to get your perspective on how you thought the overnight. Well, again, great kickoff, great, start with the red carpet premiere, the interviews.
I've had a red carpet premiere before with Signal Lost. That was pretty intense because I've done a lot of things. Prior to that I tried out for American Idol when I was like 17. There was like 30,000 people there. So it was like, it was that kind of like when I seen all the people at Signal Lost. Now this, as soon as I walked in the door, Jake, I got my wife and my daughter. They're behind me and I'm leading them in, and I did not know what to expect. I'm not going to lie to you at all. And I was like, Jake, hi. She's like, can I get your autograph? And she had a bunch of people's autographs signed on it. And so I was like, what is going on? What is happening right now? And then I seen the thing and then the interview and then all the people in line. I was like, I wrote this. I don't have to fucking stand in line. Sorry, babe. You gotta stand in line and get my ticket. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I got shit to do.
So, with the movie, right? You see the people laughing at your jokes or hear the people laughing at your jokes. You see people's reactions.
It was awesome. All the other stuff, I wasn't so worried. I wasn't so worried about it. The comedy, I was really nervous about because, man, I just really, really wanted people to laugh. I made it, and that was my first thing I said to Malcolm was, I want to make it a comedy when he approached me with the idea. And, man, a lot of jokes I rewrote and stuff because I didn't think they were funny enough. I would, my family's probably sick of my jokes, but I would, basically ask them, hey, what if it was like such and such? And then I would do the joke for them. Is that funny enough? Or should I say it like this? Because sometimes I'd have like 3 jokes written. I'd have to like approach my family and be like, hey, which one is it like, option A, B, or C? They'd be like, option B. I'd be like, boom, awesome. Because, I had already written 3 jokes, so
it wasn't nothing to me. Credit for the comedy?
Sure. They just know what's funny. Half the time they're like, yeah, okay, because it's the 308th time I've asked them, so they're like, I don't give a
So Charlie, we're getting close to wrapping this one up. What would you tell friends, viewers, need to go see this movie, what would you tell them about it? What would you tell them? Why is it that they need to see this movie?
I don't know. Thinking about when you was in high school, we did some videos back in high school, and this brought that back to me. It was like, when my nephew told me about it, it was like, you gotta put me in this. Give me one little cameo scene or whatever. Make it fun. But it was a blast to get invited to do a little part into it, and knowing that not even realizing at the time that it's my nephew's dream to be doing this. I'm thinking he's just doing this on a whim, whatever. No, this is his dream, and it's very cool that he got to ask me to do a little part. Actually, I pushed him into it. No, he didn't ask me. I said, look, little punk ass bitch. You're gonna put me in a little scene here, okay? This is what you're gonna do, whether you like it or not. Give me one little scene in this. That's all I'm asking. Like, okay, Uncle Charlie, I got
Nailed it.
Let me ask you a question. Did you know going in prior that it was a comedy?
No, I mean, all I knew was a Bigfoot movie.
Okay.
So I didn't know a comedy was going to be in the mix of it until, he asked me to come and do another part. Then he started fill me in a little bit on it. Like, we're trying to make it a little funny, comedy, drama, horror.
Okay.
I would say let's not take away from the thriller aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
It definitely
It's definitely. I think I did a good mix of both.
It's definitely a
thriller
thriller.
comedy.
Yeah.
Like you
To
said,
the T.
Like you said before, it's
What is-
textbook thriller.
Textbook, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Chaz is the executive producer. I'm gonna let you close this one out. Where can our viewers get copies of the DVDs at?
I updated the website, so everything's
What's
on
the
there.
website?
BigHammock.com.
The
TheBigHammock.com.
One word.
So there's a purchases section. You got the video on demand. You can watch it right there, or you can order the DVD or Blu Ray,
Please
and
go
we'll ship
there,
it to you.
Get
Yep.
your DVD. You get free.
Yep. You can watch that.
to
Yeah.
Zach's OnlyFans.
No OnlyFans. No OnlyFans.
Yep.
All right.
TheBigHammock.com.
The
Big Hammock, go there. Get it all. I mean,
What do you wait for?
yeah. What do you wait?
It's
You just want to hear us talk about the movie all the time and not even see it?
Right.
Come on, man.
What is your response been from people?
well, my response was just to say how big this turned out to be. I mean, I didn't think for a second that it was going to be as big as it was. It turned out to be something very, very big.
Yeah.
And it was very cool that my little nephew is doing this. That's his dream. And like, how cool is this to be part of this?
Yeah.
It was cool.
You'll be written.
It was absolutely
No matter
cool.
whatever happens, it's always going to be there.
Yep.
I am.
Oh, yeah.
It's always going to be here.
There you go.
It's awesome.
Next one's on the way.
Nice.
Cool.
Can't wait.
All right, gentlemen. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
BigHammock.com.
TheBigHammock.com.
Clear. All right, cool. Travis, you look like you was about to fall asleep back there, bro.
My ass is numb.